Cyberpunk 2077 has a pretty absurd amount of secret features. There are just a variety of mechanics and components of this game that are either never really explained to you or even at times are deliberately kept secret. So in this video, I want to highlight some of those secret features to you, like one of the most abusable and best weapon mechanics in the game, a secret bike you could find, and even clear up some other misconceptions around how certain features work or really how they don't work. But one thing modders haven't added to Cyberpunk 2077 is the ability to play on your phone. So thank God for today's video sponsor, Warplanet Online. Warplanet Online is a strategy MMO that you could play literally anywhere, on mobile, PC, or even Mac. You'll build up your base, assemble armies, and even recruit commanders as you lead your army into a real-time world war battlefield against other players and AI troops alike. During this, you'll have to adapt your tactics to survive, stockpiling realistic military units in your own custom-made base, or even launching full-on assaults on key cities like New York, Paris, or Tokyo. During this all, you can try and build up alliances with other players from around the world, or even try to bring them down as they become your next targets. Right now, Warplanet Online is celebrating the 40th anniversary of Rambo First Blood, and you get Rambo in-game for yourself. John Rambo will guide you through the secrets of warfare in the First Blood chain event up, so you can truly recreate the perfect movie experience of becoming a one-man army, which for me is the best part of the Rambo films. And it gets even better, as the first 40 players who download the game right now and reach level 10 in-game will win a $100 Amazon e-gift card. Expect the winners to be announced on November 25th and contacted in-game additionally. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special link, or scan my QR code and get 4,000 army units T1 and 4,000 medals to help kickstart your game, and make sure you don't miss a chance to win a $100 Amazon e-gift card. Looking back at Cyberpunk 2077, one particularly interesting mechanic of this game is headshot damage actually scales with level. You can see here, comparing gameplay on a level 10 character to the same character just upgraded to level 50, I deal notably more damage per headshot on the level 50 character. Now of course in game there are a variety of ways to increase headshot damage. Like if you pay Victor back, you can get the legendary trajectory analysis, which will increase headshot damage by 25%, but a major component in how much damage you are dealing per headshot is also just what level your character is, for some odd reason. A pretty popular topic, especially as of late with Cyberpunk, is Borg weapons. These being special weapons from the lore that can only be properly used by heavily augmented humans. But in Cyberpunk 2077, this name is used to describe some of the most powerful weapons in the game, and this is thanks to a bit of an exploit or weird mechanic. These are weapons that can pierce walls without charging. So unlike a typical tech weapon where you have to charge it up to actually get the wall piercing mechanic, with these Borg weapons you can pierce walls easily. And it has a unique mechanic where this will benefit from both power and tech perks to create some insanely powerful combinations. The two weapons most commonly called Borg weapons are Johnny's pistol and the Burya, and there are a couple of other iconics in the game that have similar benefits like the Buzzsaw and Prejudice. Except in reality, these are kind of a myth. In some of the past videos in the series, a ton of people have recommended me talk about Borg weapons, but there's actually only one of these. I tested this a lot, like hours of testing with the various charge-related perks, and they didn't benefit Johnny's pistol or any of the other two weapons at all. So although Johnny's pistol does fire through walls, it doesn't actually benefit from the perks around that. Conversely, the Burya does, and the Burya is probably the single best weapon in Cyberpunk 2077 right now. This is because the Burya will fire off a fully charged shot without you having to charge it. So technically, each shot I'm firing from this weapon, the game is treating it like I charged it up first, which means all of those perks that give you bonuses to fully charged shots will apply here and benefit the Burya greatly. But even beyond that, the Burya is a revolver, and it will also benefit from all the revolver perks in addition to the tech weapon perks. And after taking all of those perks, you could really start to become a god, reloading faster, dealing more damage, and even piercing through enemies' armor. And you might be looking at the background footage and saying like, okay, it looks good, but it's not that good. Well, to be clear, in this footage, I am on a level 50 character fighting other high-level enemies, and I'm using a level 1 Burya. Yes, this is literally the lowest level version of this weapon. I just have a bunch of perks buffing it up, so it's actually relevant even at level 50 gameplay. I could actually increase this even more dramatically. You can also grab the feedback circuit cyberware, which is going to restore a portion of your overall HP with each shot from a fully charged weapon. You can pick up the legendary variant of this from the Ripper Doc Charles in Kabuki, and now in combat, each shot from my Burya is restoring 10% of my HP in addition to dealing ridiculous amounts of damage. And if you really want to be a one-shot god, you can get the crafting spec for the iconic variant with Comrade's Hammer. You'll pick it up here from Organized Crime in Santo Domingo, and this is where things get kind of absurd. Like, this is a tech weapon, so I could just shoot through walls and I'll basically one-shot every enemy because of how much I'm over-damaging them. So it's to the point where you could clear out entire bases without ever actually having a line of sight with the enemies. And in particular with Comrade's Hammer, it really benefits from some of the faster reloading perks that you can pick up as it's a revolver. Overall, the Burya is absolutely ridiculous. You can deal tons of damage while also healing yourself, and I think it is the best weapon in Cyberpunk 2077 right now. Although the Burya requires some investment. If you're looking for a different way to deal a ton of damage, we do have ricochets. Have you ever noticed that in combat in Cyberpunk sometimes an enemy just starts glowing green? This is because you landed a ricochet on them. This green outline was actually added with one of the more recent updates, and ricochet I think is one of the most slept on mechanics in this game because it could deal absurd amounts of damage for a relatively low cost. Play the Angles would be an easy first step into this. It's going to be an engineering perk that'll just give you a flat bonus to ricochet damage up to 50%. From there you can head over to the Ripperdoc Kabuki to get a legendary ballistic coprocessor, then increase ricochet damage by another 50%, so now you're dealing 100% bonus damage, double damage. And if you have one of their other perks, you can actually preview ricochet trajectories, although you really don't need this. And the most important part and the thing CDPR has buffed most recently is the muzzle. With patch 1.5, CDPR reworked how a bunch of the muzzles work and actually added new ones to the game. So now many of the muzzles you could find at stores will benefit ricochets. Whether it be better angles, more ricochet bounces, or even 200% bonus damage on some of these muzzles. So you get 100% bonus damage from cyberware and perks, and then an additional 200% bonus damage from this muzzle. And naturally, as you could hear from those numbers, you could start to deal absurd amounts of damage relatively early on, because this is kind of cheap to get into. You really only need 3 levels of a perk, and then you'll have to generate some eddies to buy some of this other stuff, but you can get most of it relatively cheaply. And there's even some other benefits to ricochets as well. You know those heavily cyberwared enemies that can just dodge your shots like magic? Well, they have a much harder time dodging ricochets, and a lot of times this is a great way to deal with them. Just aim at the ground and you'll take them out pretty quickly. Overall, ricochet builds are a pretty fun and unique way to play the game while also being incredibly powerful. Reveal position is probably one of the most controversial changes CDPR brought to Cyberpunk 2077 with some of its updates. Since patch 1.3, the way things work is, if you upload 2 offensive quick hacks on an enemy, they'll start uploading a quick hack to you that will automatically reveal your position to all of the enemies on a network. This basically removing the ability to play as a stealthy netrunner, because after just 2 quick hacks on an enemy, everyone's going to know where you are. But fortunately, there actually are a couple of ways to get around this. One simple way is picking up the self-ice cyberware. This will give you one freebie. It'll cancel the first reveal position that is uploaded to you, but then after, any subsequent ones that are uploaded will go through. Technically, all this is doing is just removing the first hack an enemy uploads to you, but the vast majority of the time that will be reveal position. But a far more useful alternative and something that actually will enable you to be a true stealthy netrunner is Sonic Shock. So the way things will work with reveal position is, for an enemy to actually upload reveal position to you, they must be in an alert state. You'll notice this because the enemy will start kind of looking around and trying to figure out where you are after being damaged. And then you also have to upload 2 offensive quick hacks on that enemy. But the thing is, most enemies will go into an alert state after you hack one enemy because they're all on an interconnected network. But Sonic Shock will remove that enemy from the network. And basically the way this plays out in gameplay is, you first upload Sonic Shock, then you upload your damaging quick hacks, and if you can take out the enemy quick enough, he won't alert everybody else, so you could just take out that enemy individually, then move on to the next one. And you'll have to repeat this process, uploading Sonic Shock first each time, but you can take out enemies one at a time using this, and they won't all become alerted, and in turn, you won't get spammed with reveal position. And one other benefit of this is you could get the Raven Cyber Deck. This will slow the enemy upload time for quick hacks, so it'll take longer for reveal position to be uploaded to you. And if you notice an enemy is uploading this to you, you just have to damage them and it'll cancel the upload. But they also have to be removed from that network, because if they're all connected, then somebody else will just start uploading after him. Although another handy tip, if you are going for a stealth netrunner build, you can actually peek around cover by quick hacking. So you don't even need to have a weapon out, but just basically use your scanner in game and you will actually look over cover. You probably use the peek mechanic, it's very common with weapons, but I don't think many people knew you could use it with the scanner also. Another sometimes handy feature is you can actually turn off cameras physically. You've almost certainly used a quick hack to disable a camera remotely, but you can also just just do this by hand if you get close enough to the camera or even jump up to it. Definitely a good way to save some RAM, especially in the early game. With patch 1.6, the 05 sniper rifle got a huge buff to basically be a mini missile launcher. Unfortunately, with this, it also now requires 20 body to unlock full potential. When you see this warning that you need higher body to unlock the full potential, it actually will do a couple of things. You'll get nerfs to things like your move speed, sometimes you'll lose the ability to sprint, aim down speed is going to be lowered, and reload speed of course is lowered, although it doesn't seem to have any impact on your damage overall, which seems to be a common misconception here. But of course, having 20 body is high, you're gonna have to really invest into that stat. Or you could just have gorilla arms. So yeah, gorilla arms at any level will completely remove the body requirement of weapons. So here I'm using the most basic version of gorilla arms in the game, and you can see with this, even though my body stat is still too low, I'm able to fully use the 05 sniper rifle, which would typically require 20 body, which I definitely don't have. I think I have about 8 body on this character, which is up to 10 with these gorilla arms. And this is going to apply to all of the weapons in the game. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually reflect in the UI. It'll still show as if you're not unlocking full potential, but I am using this weapon at its full potential. And this too is another one where very early on you could get a very powerful sniper rifle. You just have to buy 1 pair of gorilla arms and then actually win the beat on the brat fight to get 05, but from there you could start the game off very strong. In Cyberpunk 2077 there is a secret motorcycle you can unlock totally for free right around the start of the game. You're gonna have to go to this lot right across from the All Foods fast travel point, and you'll be here right at the start of the game, so it's very easy to just walk across. At this lot you'll notice there's going to be a locked gate, and although it prompts you for an authorization card, you can actually just go to the gate keypad and input the code 0214, and the door will open and it's going to give you this really awesome looking motorcycle. And this is permanently added to your garage. You can call this in at any point, and I would say this may be my favorite of the Arch motorcycle designs available in game. This technically is a part of a larger quest, and actually a secret quest. To start this quest, you're going to have to go to the edge of Santo Domingo. You're going to go into this garage and it'll kick off the Highwayman quest. It's a pretty interesting one in that there's never a quest marker until you just show up here. From there, you're going to have to track down a couple of people and do a couple of things, but it's all completely unmarked. You'll have quest objectives, but no quest markers associated with it, so you'll spend a lot of time searching Night City if you want to do this legit. Otherwise, I'll have some guides down below. And the way this will work is you actually have to start the quest to get the bike added to your garage. But you can still do this super early on. Just go to this garage in Santo Domingo. You'll find it directly under the weapon shop, inspect the bike, read the things on the computer so you look at the picture, and then immediately after that, just fast travel to All Foods, run across the street, open the gate with this code, and from there you have a really fast vehicle incredibly early on in Cyberpunk 2077. In Cyberpunk, you can very easily cycle to optional objectives. On PC, you just hit the Z key, or you could even just go into your journal and select the optional objective so it can move that quest marker and actually guide you to where that is. Like most games, Cyberpunk 2077 does have the ability to quick save and quick load on PC. Quick save is F5, quick load is F9. But a pretty unique feature of this game is you can actually quick save and quick load right in the middle of dialogue. So you can see here, as I'm talking to Judy, if I'm curious as to how some of these different dialogue choices will play out, I can actually just save here and then load back up and it'll put me right in the same spot, and I could try a different dialogue choice and see where that goes. And actually does go in quite a different direction. So it's a pretty cool mechanic, especially if you're on a subsequent playthrough and want to see some of those branching storylines. But otherwise, yeah, those are some of the hidden or just often overlooked mechanics and features of Cyberpunk 2077 that I think deserve to be highlighted. If you guys enjoyed this content, you can get subscribed. I actually have another Cyberpunk video coming out on Monday that I think if you like this one, you'll definitely like that one. With that said, as always, again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, but with that, I hope to see you all next time. Later.